अरहंत सिद्ध सुर उपाध्याय साधु सर्व अर्थ के प्रकाशी मांगलिक उपकारी है। तीन को स्वरूप जानी रागते भई जो भक्ति काय को नमाए स्तुति को उच्चारी है। धन्य धन्य तुम से काज सब आज भयो कर चोरी बारंबार वंदना हमारी है। मंगल कल्याण सुख ऐसो हम चाहते हो मेरी ऐसी दशा जैसी तुम धारी है। हो मेरी ऐसी दशा जैसी तुम धारी है। So Acharya Amritchandra Dev's Pursharth Siddhi Upay, and we have so far covered 36 verse. Okay. Last 2 weeks we have been covering right belief and right conduct. So after manifesting right belief and right knowledge, what should be the next? That is what we are going to start from today. Okay. So we are on to page number 76. Before one. This is 38. We are on to now 37. Right conduct section. Okay. Yes. Still go further up. Yes. Previous page. Yes. Yes. Here we are. Samyak Charitra Adhikar. So after manifesting right belief and right knowledge, what follows is right conduct. Okay. So this chapter is about right conduct. Okay. Samyak Charitra Adhikar. Okay. So this particular text also covers these three gems: right belief, right knowledge, and right conduct. Okay. Now, unity of these three is the path of liberation. If you have right belief and no right conduct, then also it will not do. If you have right belief and right knowledge, then you need right conduct also. So combination of all these three, the unity of all these three is the path of liberation. So the discussion is also in that way only. First we discussed right belief, then we discussed right knowledge, and now we are discussing right conduct. Okay. So this is the sequence that we follow. In Chedal also that was the same sequence. In Ratnakaran Savakachar also is the same sequence. So everywhere this kind of sequence is what we see, because when we discuss the path of liberation, it's a unity of all these three. Okay. So what is the next course to be adopted? That is what the question is. And based on that question, the verse number 37 has evolved. What it says: those by whom delusion pertaining to darshan, that is belief, has been destroyed, by whom the reality of the tattva has been known. 7 fundamental elements, reality of tattva. Okay. Through well-grounded samyak gyan. So samyak darshan is also there, then samyak gyan is also there, and who remain unwavering and firm at all times. What do you mean by this? Who remain unwavering and firm at all times. That means who are always steadfast and unshaken. Okay. Those who are able, those who want to stabilize in themselves. Okay. This is what it means by Samyak Charitra. By such persons, Samyak Charitra is to be adopted. Okay. So once you have manifested right belief, then right knowledge, So once the belief turns right, the knowledge is also called right. But before the right belief, the knowledge that we are gaining right now is also correct. But we cannot term it as right knowledge. Why? Because unless and until the belief manifests first, right belief manifests first, knowledge cannot be considered as right. Although the knowing of the seven fundamentals is absolutely clear in his mind, but still, so the path of liberation begins with right belief, but before right belief, what we do, where we work, is our knowledge only. We upgrade our knowledge, and as we go on upgrading our knowledge, the ignorance goes away gradually. Okay, and there comes a time when our belief turns right, then the knowledge also turns right, and the conduct is also termed as right. Okay, so the driver is the belief system. Okay, and what we work throughout reading Jinwani is only the changes that we need to do in our belief system. Okay, so our syllabus is very short. We have to change our belief system. Okay, we used to believe earlier, we used to believe that body is ours. Now the correct knowing is that body does not belong to us. We are soul. Body is a matter substance. So how can we establish oneness with body? Okay. So in this way, as you read Jinwani, as you read the scriptures, your ignorance goes on destroying, and your belief system turns right, gradually. So this is how the things will work. So as far as path of liberation is concerned, it begins with right belief. But as far as knowing is concerned, it's the knowledge. Okay. So whatever we work, whatever we upgrade, whatever we do changes is at the knowledge level. And driven by that knowledge, the belief turns right. Okay. So all these three are interconnected. Okay. But if you ask me at the driver, who is the driver? Then we have to, of course, say that it's the belief is the driver. Because unless and until belief turns right, the knowledge is not termed as right. Although whatever you are knowing is absolutely correct. But belief has to turn right first. Okay. But the path of liberation is complete only with the unity of three. Okay. So there is no one thing that we can do away with. Okay. All the three has to be there, and that is the path of liberation. Okay. Next page. Yes. Yes. Bus. Now we'll see the commentary. Okay. Which jivas should adopt samyak charitra, right conduct? Those for whom delusion of darshan has been destroyed and who have thereby become believers in tattva, seven fundamental elements. He has got a correct understanding of the seven fundamentals. Okay, that's why his delusion is gone. Okay, and how are they further described? Those who have known the meaning of tattva through samyak gyan. Okay, and how else are they? Those who remain continuously unwavering in the conduct they have undertaken. They don't deviate. Okay, they are not shaken. They have got an unshaken, unwavering belief. Those who do not abandon the adapted conduct in any manner, in the face of any kind of adversities, they don't abandon the adapted conduct. Such jivas should adopt samyak charitra. So those who have a firm belief, they have got the firm knowledge, and then they are only eligible for adopting the right conduct. If you don't have the belief, then how can right knowledge and right conduct can evolve? So first of all, we have to work on the belief, and then of course the knowledge and the conduct will follow. Bhavarth we will also see. First, one should attend Samyak Darshan. Having become a possessor of Samyak Gyan, and thereafter maintaining an unwavering disposition, one should adopt Samyak Charitra. Then obviously the next question is, after the acceptance of Samyak Gyan, what is the reason for adopting right conduct? That is what we will discuss in verse number 38. Conduct preceded by ignorance does not attain the designation of Samyak. That is right. Okay. So if the conduct is preceded by ignorance, okay, then it does not attain the designation of Samyak. That is right. Therefore, the observation of Charitra is declared to be after Gyan. Okay. What was the reason for adopting the Samyak Charitra? So this is the reason. After accepting Samyak Gyan, because without accepting Samyak Gyan, in the still delusion and ignorance are there, the conduct does not become the right. Okay. Therefore, first we have to change the belief, then the knowledge, and then the conduct. Go slightly up. Yes. Conduct that is preceded by ignorance does not attain the designation Samyak. If in the absence of Samyak Gyan, one renounces sinful activity and undertakes the burden of conduct, that does not receive the name Samyak Charitra. Okay. So one who has got ignorance, even if he renounces sinful activity, and if he adopts the strongest of the conduct, still he does not get the name of the right conduct. Example also is given very good. Just as taking medicine without proper knowledge results only in death. Okay. So in the same way, the practice of conduct devoid of Samyak Gyan increases sansar. Okay. So it should be in the sequence. First we have to turn the belief right, then the knowledge, and then of course the conduct. Of what use are the shapes of the senses in a lifeless dead body? Okay. A lifeless dead body has got eyes, has got ears, but can it see? Can it listen? No. In the same way, through external dress, okay, you become a Digambar monk, naked monk, okay, or ritual activity of a body devoid of Samyak Gyan, the attainment of Shuddhopyog does not occur. Okay, pure manifestation does not occur. Therefore, the observance of Charitra is stated to be only after the attainment of Samyak Gyan. Take it further. Now, what are the characteristics of this conduct? That is verse number 39. There are 5 points mentioned in this 39. Okay. If you want to read the Sanskrit one, we can do 39. Charitram bhavati yatah समस्त सावध योग परिहरणात सकल कषाय विमुक्तम विशद मुदासीन मातम रूपम tat. What it says, this is called charitra because through complete renunciation of all sinful activities. Okay. So through the complete renunciation of all sinful activity. This is the first characteristics. Okay. Second, it becomes entirely free from all kashais, that is passions. Okay. Third point is pure. Fourth point is detached from external objects. And fifth is the nature of the Atma. So these are the 5 characteristics of conduct. First of all, complete renunciation of all sinful activities. Okay. Now that renunciation will be done at 2 levels. Okay. Partial and complete. Here it mentions complete, but in the next coming verse, they will also give the 2 divisions. Okay. Partial renunciation or complete. If you are renouncing it partially, then you are the holder of minor woes. And if you have renounced the sinful activity completely, then you are the holder of the major woes. Okay. And who is a holder of major woes? The monk. Okay. So this 5 characteristics is being further explained. Take it below. Yeah. Yeah. See the commentary. Charitra arises from the renunciation of all sinful activities of mind, speech, and body. Okay. So all the 5 sinful activities, we have violence, then we have falsehood, then we have theft, then we have unchastity, then we have possession. Hinsa, Jhoot, Chori, Kushil, Parigraha. Okay. So these are the 5 scenes. Okay. Now these 5 scenes are conducted through either mind or speech or body. Now here it says that conduct arises from the renunciation of all sinful activities of mind, speech, and body. Okay. So monks, so this is referring to the monks. Okay. Monks first adopt Samyak Charitra, then they undertake the following vow. Why it is mentioned as monk? Because even the lay person, the householder at the 4th level and the 5th level, they also have right conduct. So why it's just mentioning the monks? Although the number 4th stage and the 5th stage, lay person or the householder, they also have the right conduct. But that right conduct is not considered as the right conduct. The monks are the true holder of the right conduct. Charitra Kallu Dharmo. Okay. So Charitra, that is conduct. Conduct is the real religion. Because at the 4th stage and the 5th stage, the frequency is also very less and the duration is also very less. So they don't fall into the category of conduct. Okay. As the monks have. But nevertheless, the 5th stage holder, they do have renounced the sinful activity at a partial level. Okay. So they have little bit of charitra in them. But again, that charitra cannot be compared to the charitra of a monk. So monk are the true holder of the charitra, that is what here mentioned. I am renounced from all sinful activities. So this is regarding the monk. All when it comes, then it is monk. What is the nature of charitra? Second point, when there is the complete absence of all kashais, all passions, okay, that is yathakyat charitra. Yathakyat charitra is there between 11th to 14th stage, right? So yathakyat charitra starts from 11th to 14th. So before that, it is all sakal charitra, okay? Sakal charitra, complete, no, not it is not complete. Complete is the yathakyat charitra. Okay. When there is the complete absence of all passions, 25 kinds of passions, complete absence, then it is called yathakyat charitra. That means the attribute of conduct has manifested completely, perfect. Okay. This is called yathakyat charitra. Then the third point, what else is its nature? It is pure. Visadam. Visadam means pure. The lake of the Atma was sullied by the mud in the form of kashais. With the absence of kasai, purity naturally manifests. Okay. Again, very good example. The lake of the soul was sullied by the mud. Okay. Now the mud has been destroyed completely. So there is absence of kashais. So now there is a pure manifestation. And what, this is the third point, right? Now the fourth point coming up. And what further is its nature? It is characterized by detachment from other dravyas. This is the fourth point. Okay. So there is something that you have connected to. So there is simultaneously some detachment, okay, from the other dravyas. And the last point, that charitra abides as the very nature of the soul. Okay. As the very nature of the Atma. The nature of the Atma. What is the nature of the Atma? True nature is just to know and see. Okay. So that only evolves. The nature of the soul that has manifested free from kashais remains eternally. Once you have destroyed the passions, then you are eternally remaining pure, pure, pure. From this point, it is the very nature of the soul. No new covering will ever arise. Okay. So earlier the passions were there. Now all the passions have been destroyed. So this is the true nature, very nature of the soul. Okay. These passions are alien disposition. They are not the true nature of the soul. Okay. They have evolved in the modification of the soul just because there was an instrumental cause of karma. Okay. But having said that, it is not the inherent nature of the soul. Never a passion arises by taking shelter in the soul. Okay. On the contrary, when you take shelter of the soul, the passions get destroyed. Okay. So the nature of the Atma that has manifested free from passions remains eternally. From this standpoint, it is the very nature of the soul to remain eternally free from passions. No new covering will arise. All the old coverings you have destroyed, and no new covering will arise. In Samyak Charitra, complete Charitra is present. Sorry, in Samahik Charitra. So there are 5 kinds of conduct, okay, that we read in Tattvat Sutra. I will mention you the number, which chapter it was. It was in the 9th chapter, 18 number aphorism. Okay. Aphorism number 18, chapter number 9, 5 types of conduct was there. Page number 366. Hindi Tattvart Mani Pradeep that we had in the syllabus in the last sem. Okay. So what are these 5 types of charitra? First is Samayik Charitra. Okay. Here all the sinful activities have been renounced. So the spiritual stages would be 6th to 9th. Then second one was Chedopsthapna Charitra. Okay. So once you are deviating from the Samayik Charitra, then this evolves, Chedopsthapna Charitra. This is again from spiritual stages 6 to 9. The third is Parihar Vishuddhi. Okay. It is in the stages of 6th and 7th. Here you are not doing any kind of violence. Okay. Fourth is Shukshma Sampray. It is the 10th stage. Okay. Where the subtlest of greed has also been destroyed. And the fifth is Yathakyat Charitra. Complete destruction of all kind of impurities. Complete passionlessness. It is in the stage of 11th to 14th. Okay. So either 11th In 11th, it would be subsided passions. Okay. And if it is 12th, then it will be destroyed passions. Okay. So both could be possible. Either you can subside or you can destroy. Okay. So 11th to 14th is the stage of Yathakyat Charitra, that is complete conduct. Now there is a question coming up. In Samayik Charitra, complete Charitra is present. Okay. However, due to the existence of Sanjalan Kashay, okay, one level of passion is still remaining. Impurity does not disappear because, as I said, it is between 6 to 9 stage only. Okay. Therefore, only when one becomes free from all Kashais, that is 11 to 14, does it obtain the designation of Yathakhyat, where Charitra manifests exactly as it truly is. Now, there is a question. Is a disposition in the form of Shubhupyog regarded as Charitra or not? Shubhupyog means auspicious active consciousness. Okay. So Shubhupyog arises from purified transformation. Here we have to do the correction. Shubhupyog arises from auspicious transformations. Okay. In Hindi, the word was Vishuddhi. So the chat GPT translated this Vishuddhi as purity, but it is not purity. Okay. Shubh Upyog, that means the active consciousness is engaged in the auspicious sentiments. Okay. So Shubh Upyog arises from auspicious transformation, and purity here refers to Mand Kashai. So again, the word purity will not be there. It would be auspicious sentiment. Here refers to mild passion. Mand Kashai means mild passion. So auspicious disposition here refers to Mand Kashai, that is mild passion. Therefore, due to the attenuation of Kashai, okay, attenuation means the subsidence of the passions, it is in a qualified sense called Charitra. Okay. Okay. Mand Kasai, you can write mild passions if you want to write. So when you are indulging in sensual pleasures, it is called intense passion. And when you are involved in the auspicious sentiment, it is called mind passions. But the true religion only manifests in the absence of passion and not mild. Okay. So any day, intense passion, mild passion is better than intense passion, but it is not the true religion, right? So don't get stuck up over there. From there, you have to move to the pure manifestation, which is the true religion.
Sorry, Rajesh sir, is it mind or mild?
Mild, M-I-L-D, mild, mand kashai.
Mild.
Mild and intense. Yeah, mild, this is mild. So when you are indulging in sensual pleasure, your passions are intense. Okay. You are looking at the movie, comedy picture, and you are laughing. Okay. So this is not mild passion, this is intense passion. So when you are indulging in any of the sensual pleasures, it is always the intense passions. Only when you are involved in swadhyay, puja, bhakti, chintan, manan, okay, then it is mild passions. Okay. Therefore, due to this is done. Question, again another question. When there is intense activity characterized by rag towards Dev, Guru, Shastra, Sil, Tapas, Sanyam, and the like, how can it be called Mand Kashai? In comparison with attachment arising from sense object, sensual pleasures, and kashais of that type, passions of that type. Okay, it is indeed Mand Kashai. So compared to the sensual pleasures and the passions that you are indulging in, it is indeed Mand Kashai. Okay, because in such attachment, there is no presence of krodh, man, maya. Okay. As for lobh kashai, greed, from the standpoint of affectionate inclination, that too is not connected with worldly purpose. Therefore, it is also mild. Okay. So, it's always the mild passions. When we are into auspicious sentiments, it is all the passions becomes mild. Okay. And from auspicious only you can go to the pure manifestation. You cannot go from uh, intense passion to pure passions. Okay. Intense passion to pure manifestation. You cannot go directly. In between, the auspicious dispositions will come, and in auspicious disposition, the passions are mild. Okay. So when the passions are mild, your mind runs to study the scriptures, do some bhakti, go to the temple, organize sibir, join these classes. Okay. You are today attending this class because your passions are mild. If the passions becomes now only intense, you will pick up a call and start talking in that. Okay. So it is like that. Here also, the Jnani Jeev, the enlightened soul, being prompted by a disposition of rag, abandons ashubh. Okay. When you are into activities of vrat, tap and all, you are abandoning ashubh. Now you are studying this class, you are studying in the class, you have abandoned ashubh. You have abandoned TV, you have abandoned gossip, you have abandoned many things, and engages in shubhrag. So this is a auspicious sentiment. However, that shubhrag is not regarded as worthy of acceptance. Rather, it is understood to be a cause of impurity for one's Shuddhopyog Roop Charitra. Okay. So when you want to go to that pure manifestation, then at that point of time, the auspicious sentiment is also considered as impure. It's a cause of bondage. Okay. Whereas when you manifest pure sentiments, it's a cause of samvar nijra, stoppage and dissociation. In Ashubh Upyog, the intensity of Kasha is present. Thereby, it cannot be in any manner whatsoever attain the designation of Charitra. Okay. So this is 39 number verse complete. Now we will move on to the 40. Charitra ke bhed. Okay. Divisions of Charitra. So the question is, how many kinds of Charitra is there? How many types of conducts are there? Okay. So this in this verse it will be explained that there are two levels of conduct. One at the lay person level and others at the monk level. Okay. So let's see the verse number 40. From abstention from violence, false speech, hinsa, jhoot, chori, theft, kushil, unchastity, and possession, parigraha, through complete and partial renunciation. Two types of conduct. One is complete renunciation and one is partial renunciation. Charitra arises as of two kinds. Okay. The one who have renounced partial, they are the lay person. They are considered as a lay person, householder, in the stage of fourth and fifth. Okay. And those who have renounced completely sinful activities, they are the super monks. Okay. So commentary, go below. Still further below. Yes. Yes. Charitra arises as of two kinds. In what way? Through complete and partial renunciation from violence, falsehood, theft, unchastity, and possession. Two divisions of charitra arise. The description of violence and the rest is given later. So that is what we are going to discuss. The majority of the scripture is aligned for the discussion of these 5 kinds of sins and its renunciation. Okay. So that is the whole scripture is all about. Okay. So we are very soon going to enter into that. We are here at 40, then 41, 42, the minor woes will start. Okay. Two divisions of charitra arise. So Bhavat, the description of the violence and rest is given later. Their complete renunciation, okay, is called Sakal Charitra. Complete renunciation of the 5 sins is called Sakal Charitra. Then you are become a monk. And partial renunciation is called Des Charitra. And then you are at the 4th or 5th stage as a lay person, lay devotee. Okay. Now the last one. Those who possesses these 2 kinds of charitra, who are they? So that has been stated here, 41. And I already discussed just now. One who is absorbed in complete renunciation becomes a yati. Yati means monk. This one being established in the essence of samay. Okay. So one who is fully concentrated on the self is the monk. And one who is absorbed in partial renunciation becomes an upasak. Okay. Upasak means lay devotee. Okay. Or a householder. Now we'll see the commentary also. That jiva, sorry, all these 5 sins are indeed hinsa. Okay. All these 5 sins are, 1 minute. Huh? Ek minute.
I think I've jumped it. I think
That's what I was.
Yeah. Sorry. I think it's page 62.
Yeah. That jiva.
Page 61.
41. We are on to 41. Yeah.
Yeah, but page 61.
Yeah, 61. Right.
61.
Yeah. You have taken a printout?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, very good. All of you have taken out, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So as Darshit ji does the correction, you also do in your textbook. Only 1 or 2 mistakes here and there. Otherwise, it is all good. So the commentary, that jiva who in the inner disposition possesses the strength of purity, free from the 3 kashais. Three kashais means 3 levels, 3 quadruplet of passions. Okay. Anantanubandhi, apratyakyan and pratyakyan. And who is engaged in the complete, all-inclusive renunciation of the 5 sins is a monk. Okay. This Muni is of the very nature of Samaisar. Samaisar means pure soul. Okay. That is the pure Atma in the form of Shuddhupyog. A Muni is indeed of the nature of Shuddhopyog alone. Even a disposition in the form of Shubhopyog is in the status of Muni like a stain. Okay. So coming into the Shuddhopyog is a compulsion for the monk. They don't want. But because of their lack of great effort, they are not able to sustain in the self. So when they are not able to sustain, they engage in writing the scriptures, taking the alms, advising, giving instructions to others, initiating into monkhood to others who are willing to take up monkhood. Okay, all these activities are done at the 6th stage of spiritual development. But when they are fully engrossed in the self, then it is the 7th stage. So the monk keep on oscillating between 6th and 7th stage. 7th, 6th. Every 48 minutes, they change from 6th to 7th, 7th to 6th. Okay. So the monk very well know that this auspicious disposition that has come up is in fact a stain. They are not happy with that. You know, in Swamiji's pravachan, Swamiji gives an example of that when they are engrossed in the self, Shuddhopyog, then they are really enjoying it. But when they are into the 6th stage, then they feel like they have come into the blast furnace. The blast furnace heat is of very high level. Okay, people get burned. So coming into Shuddhopyog, coming into auspicious sentiments for the monk is like getting into a blast furnace. They don't want it. But because of their inability to remain steadfast, remain firm, remain unwavering in the self, they do deviate from the self and come into the auspicious sentiment. But how did they feel the auspicious sentiment? So they feel that this is like a stain. It is not worth manifesting. Okay. So that is the difference in their belief. That is the difference in their understanding. Okay. Now they want only self engrossed in them. They want to be just concentrate on the self. But they are not able to. That is a different thing. But their priority, their inclination is to remain engrossed in the self. That jiva who is engaged in partial, in some measure, renunciation of the 5 sins is a Sravak. Okay. So those who have renounced partially, they are Sravak. Lay person, lay devotee or a householder. Okay. So now the discussion will move on to the only the minor woes of a householder, 12 minor woes of a householder. That is the main, I would say, the main part of this scripture, Pushrat Siddhi Upay. It's based on the Sravak and not of the monk. Because for the monks, the earlier many scriptures were written. So Acharya Amritchandra Dev thought that as a householder, what they should do. So for them, this is the advice. Okay. So if you are not able to renounce the sins completely, at least do the partial one. Okay. And while renouncing the partial sins, you will be able to make more insight in you. Okay. Your frequency of pure manifestation will increase. Your frequency of realizing the self will increase. And your internal purity would also be gradually increasing as you go along. Okay. So the possessor of second charitra is a Muni, and the possessor of Des charitra is a Sravak. Okay. So here we end the chapter on the right conduct. Okay. So now another chapter is coming up. This is the not part of the scripture. This is on the foot box. Okay. This reference has been taken from Paramatam Prakash. Okay. So this is not part of our syllabus. It's written here, there, footnote, foot box. Okay. Foot box. So that is not a part of the right. Now, Ahimsa Anuvrat. From here the starts. Okay. The new chapter begins from Ahimsa Anuvrat, verse number 42 to 90. You can write it down. 42 to 90. Can you imagine? 38, 48, 42 to 90. That is 48 verse, 49 verse for only one Ahimsa Anuvrat, minor wo. Okay. So very important. And the discussion that we are going to discuss here is of a very high level. In no other scripture, the non-violence has been described in such a vivid passion. Okay. So all the definitions are very ultimate. And it is only Amrit Chandra Acharya Dev who can deliver such meaningful definitions. Okay. Generally speaking, we know Hinsa is violence and Ahimsa is non-violence. And there is a slogan, Ahimsa Parmo Dharma. So Ahimsa, so people misunderstood that statement, Ahimsa Parmo Dharma, and they all believe that if we don't commit violence, then it is dharma. Okay. So they started saving the animals and the insects and all. But that is not Ahimsa. True Ahimsa is when you are not manifesting attachment or aversion. Okay. Then only it is true Ahimsa. True Ahimsa, in other words, is Vitrakta, passionlessness, pure modification. Okay. So that is Ahimsa in the real sense. But in the conventional point of view, from the conventional point of view, Ahimsa means to save insects, animals, okay, from killing. So that's a very gross meaning, you know. Subtle meaning is not manifesting attachment nor aversion. That is called Ahimsa. So when you are not manifesting attachment or aversion, what you are manifesting, Darshit ji?
Sorry, Shuddhupyog?
Yeah. In English?
Pure, no,
Pure
I don't.
manifestation.
Pure
Pure
manifestation without
Yeah.
auspicious or non-auspicious.
Yeah. Pure active consciousness is Shuddhopyog. But what I was looking at, the word was passionlessness. Ahimsa means passionlessness. Non-violence means passionlessness. You are not manifesting the attachment. Okay. So this is the true religion. Passionlessness is the true religion. Detachment is the true religion. Okay. So this was what I was intending. So let's see. So there are 5 sins, and each sin, after each sin, there is a one minor woe. Okay. So what are the 5 sins we just discussed now? Violence, falsehood, theft, unchastity, possession. Hinsa, jhoot, chori, kushil, parigraha. Okay. So now the discussion starts on the Ahimsa Anuvrat. So there are 2 types of Vrat, Mahavrat, Anuvrat. Mahavrat is great woes or major woes, and Anuvrat is minor woes. So what we are going to discuss in this scripture is the minor woes. So a lay person is a holder of these 12 vows. Okay. So the 5 sins are of the very nature of Ahimsa. Okay. Although out of the 5 sins, only the first one is named as violence, but the other 4 are just a division of violence. They are in fact violence. Because when you are indulging in, say, falsehood, you are immediately creating violence in the form of false speech, right? So, any sentiments that manifest attachment and aversion is a violence. This is the wide definition of hinsa, violence. Attachment and aversions are violence. Who will consider as violence? Because under attachment, there is inauspicious and auspicious also. So auspicious sentiment to be an attachment, who is ready to accept? Who is ready to accept it as a violence? Nobody, right? But Acharya Amritchandra Dev has given a true meaning of the violence and non-violence. And we are going to study this in very detail. Words number 42 to 90. Such a long 48 words for discussing only the hinsa and ahinsa, violence and non-violence. Okay. So let's start the first verse. Because they are the causes of injury, the 5 sins. They are the causes of injury, not injury. They are the causes of violence. To the Atma's transformation in the form of Shuddhopyog. They are causes of violence. Okay. Violence to the Atma's transformation in the form of Shuddhopyog. Shuddhopyog is pure manifestations. Okay. So when you are indulging in violence, how can the pure manifestation manifest? All of these are indeed hinsa. So all the 5 are hinsa. Okay. The distinctions such as false speech, theft, unchastity, and possession are stated merely by way of illustration for instructing disciples. Okay. To make disciples the meaning of the violence, they have described these 4 extra just to define the violence, because it's difficult to say, right? If you are indulging in, say, your wealth is increasing, who would say that this is a violence? This is a hinsa. Who would say every year my net worth should increase? And if the net worth increases, you are so glad, pleased, but you don't know that you are increasing the violence. Okay? Because possession at certain level is good for the householder, but beyond that is violence. Okay? And people don't realize. People can only realize when their passions are become very mild. Then they are able to understand the true meaning of Jinvani. Under the influence of intense passion, you are not able to understand this definition. Okay. So we will discuss this further in the coming verses. Let's see the commentary. Take it down, Darshitji. No, not that much. We'll read the, yeah, this one. Yes, commentary. Sarvam etat hinsa eva. All these 5 sins are indeed hinsa. For what reason? Because they are cause of injury, they are causes of injury, they are causes of violence to the Atma's transformation. Okay? In the form of Shuddhopyog. So when you are indulging in these 5 sins, you cannot manifest the Shuddhopyog. Therefore, all of them are hinsa alone. If they are all hinsa, then why are other distinctions stated? The distinctions such as false speech and the like means false speech, theft, unchastity, and possession, are stated merely as illustrations for instructing the disciple. If a disciple does not understand the specific form of hinsa, that is violence, then examples such as false speech is violence, then theft is violence, then unchastity is violence, and then possession is a violence. Okay, parigraha. The examples such as false speech are given to explain hinsa. One form of hinsa is false speech, another is theft. They are to be understood illustratively in this manner. Now, the next verse. The nature of hinsa is stated here. What is the nature? So, we will straightway go to the meaning. That which through the activity of mind, speech and body transformed by kashayas, passions, bring about the injury of pranas. Okay, violence of pranas of both material and psychical forms. Dravya hinsa, bhav hinsa is certainly determined to be hinsa. Okay, so this hinsa through the activity of mind, speech and body, manifesting passions. Okay, both kinds of hinsas are there. Material hinsa, that is dravya hinsa, and the psychic violence, bhav hinsa. Take it further below the commentary. Yes. Yes. Certainly. 1 minute. Again, you have jumped or what? Let me check.
No, it's right, sir.
It's
It's
correct.
right. It's correct, sir.
1 minute. Why? Yes, yes, correct. Certainly. Yeah, this is correct. Certainly, through the activity of mind, speech and body that has become transformed by kashais, the affliction and injury of pranas of the two kinds, material and psychical, is decisively hinsa. When krodh kashai, okay, anger, passion manifest in one's mind, speech or body, then first of all there is injury or violence to one's own bhav pran. Okay, so when you are scolding, when you are taking revenge, first loss is yours only, because you are manifesting this passions like anger, and because you have manifested this passion, you have done injury to yourself, you have done violence of yourself. Okay, bhav pran in the form of shuddhopyog, you are not manifesting right pure manifestations. Okay, so when you are manifesting passions to that extent, the pure manifestation does not manifest, and that is called violence. This hinsa has already occurred due to the injury of one's own bhav pran, whether or not a second form of hinsa occurs. That means physically you are harming somebody or not, but when you have manifested the passions, the same time your own injury has already been done. Okay. Now, dravya hinsa may happen or may not happen. It may happen that you have only manifested the passions and then you have stopped. You have not done the physical violence. Okay. But still, it is a violence. Okay. So, this is very, very subtle. Who will be able to understand that when you are trying to save somebody, it is again a violence? It's very hard to digest. Okay. So, we will see that discussion coming up. Thereafter, if at other time, due to the manifestation of intense kashais, one causes pain, to one's own body through prolonged breathing and the like, or through hands and feet, or meets death by accident, then there is a hinsa in the form of injury to one's own dravya prana. Okay. So we are doing this 43 number verse, and in that yes. So here accident, death by accident is suicide. Okay. It's not accident, it's suicide. You can change that wording, Darshitji. Yes. Meets death by accident, not by accident, but by suicide. Hindi word is abghat. Abghat is suicide. So, very interesting this discussion. Thereafter, if at some time due to the manifestation of intense passion, one causes pain to one's own body through prolonged breathing and the like, or through hands and feet. Through hands and feet. Okay.
Sorry,
Or
Rajesh sir,
meets, huh?
this isn't making much sense to me, because what do they mean by through prolonged breathing and hands and feet?
Like someone, stops the breathing. In yoga, there are some exercise where you are supposed to stretch your breathing, So in that case, they are suffering. They are suffering, and that's a kind of violence to the self. Okay. So prolonged breathing, in earlier times, there were no oxygen cylinder and all. So the person who used to go below the sea, they used to practice this prolonged breathing. So they will take one breathing, go deep into the sea, bring out the gems, and again come up. In between, if he loses his breathing, he dies. Okay. So they had to practice this deep breathing, So those are the kinds of these are the kinds of violence only. Okay. Then they used to destroy their own hands and feet, to they used to understand that by doing this, I am doing some sort of religion. This is because of ignorance. Prolonged breathing is also because of ignorance. Okay. So when you are indulging in such activity and understanding it as dharma, it is not dharma, but it's a violence. Okay. Then there is a hinsa in the form of injuries to one's own dravya prana. If due to kashai, that is passion, one speaks harsh words to another jeev, okay, engages in piercing mockery, or performs such action by which that other's inner being is afflicted and becomes transformed into kashai laden states. Okay. Now, Darshiji, you scold your son. Okay. He came late today home, and you started scolding him for 1 hour. So that your son's, the other's inner being is afflicted. Okay. And becomes transformed into kashai laden states. Then hinsa occurs through the injury of another's bhav pran. But this was a very, I would say, gross example that I have given. Actually, your intention is not of harming him. Your intention is that he doesn't get into bad company, right? So that's why you scolded for 1 hour. So it will not amount to hinsa in that sense, okay? But if it is merely like, some are very angered nature person, at the smallest instance, they will start abusing and doing, giving long instructions and lectures, So those kind of people, for them, it's an injury. But if you are doing something, not because of your nature of anger, but because for his welfare, then again it is not a hinsa. Okay. So for our family members, we generally um, scold them only for their improvement, right? But if it is for some other, then it's a manifestation of violence only. Okay. So that hinsa occurs through the injury or the violence of another's bhav pran. So hinsa are two types. One is dravya hinsa, one is bhav hinsa. Dravya hinsa is material violence and bhav hinsa is psychic violence. So this is bhav pran. So this is psychic violence. Okay. Take it further.
Rajesh sir,
Yeah.
I just wanted to add in relation to that previous discussion of the yoga and then we prolonged breathing, that bit. I was actually thinking in terms of, some mental health conditions like psychosis and like, schizophrenia and those kinds of things. So, there are certain like in small childhood, like, some children, they kind of, if they don't get something what they need, they hold their breath until
Acha?
the parents give it. Yeah, there's a condition and it happens between 2 to 5 years of age, and they hold it to the point where the face turns blue and they faint.
Oh,
And we call it cyanotic temper.
okay.
So it's just a way of throwing a temper tantrum.
Tantrum,
And
barabar.
so I was actually thinking in that sense, like some people,
It could
or
be,
like,
it could be because I have never heard 2 to 5 years doing such things, but uh, always they
I,
are showing
yeah.
tantrums. They want their purpose to be solved, So they
Yeah,
do
I had
such
a
things.
nephew who did that, and
Okay.
when I studied about it, like, just as part of my curriculum, I
Hmm.
could relate. So the previous discussion of, like, how we do hints of our own body,
Hmm.
I was thinking more in terms of how mental health conditions, like, someone with depression or someone with anorexia, who
Uh-huh.
don't, who punish themselves because of the intense
So
passions,
yeah, that is
they
true.
stop eating.
Hmm.
So they stop eating, or they go to, like, they eat, they go to the bathroom and then they vomit intentionally. So those
Hmm.
kinds of all these eating disorders, or say like
Right,
people
right, right.
hurting themselves, tattooing, I'm sorry to say, but
So,
some people go for intense form of tattooing
okay.
because they find pleasure in that pain that
Okay.
they get from the tattoo.
Okay.
It's a manifestation of the self-loathing, self-guilt, all those kinds
Okay.
of things. So
Okay.
that's what I was thinking, dravya hinsa, because of the internal
Yes, yes.
intense
See,
passions.
now this, whatever we discuss, these are the categories of persons who doesn't have the common sense that why such things are, why my parents are scolding me. They are not able to understand this, right? They just feel that they should do things as per their wish. Okay. They don't want anyone to come in between their, wish. Okay. So then they feel bad about it. But in reality, if you see, the parents, they do just for the sake of their welfare, right? So there is an understanding that has to be involved here, that what is the purpose. Now, as I said, some are angered nature only. Small things, they get so much of anger. It was not required that much of anger, although of course the kids are ignorant only. They are not that much matured to understand their own welfare. Okay. So anyways, you have to scold them, but again there are ways to handle those situations. That also differs from person to person. But like in my childhood, I was also given such punishment, and I was very obstinate. So I used to just keep on crying and not eat anything. And my elder sisters and my aunt and my mom, they would hold me like that for 2 hours, 3 hours, you know. And I was also not able to realize, but that could have been handled in a better way, you know. So there's something psychology that the parents has to learn how to handle the child. The child is coming with past impressions, you know. It's not that they have learned something here. They all come with past impressions. So you have to understand everything, and then you have to find a way where you are not manifesting yourself the passions, and at the same time you are giving him a comfort zone and also making him understand that these are best to be avoided. See, such person has done this, then he got this. So somewhere through the medium of stories and all, I think you can have a very healthy discussion, and so much of manifestation of passions is not required. Okay, but then you have
Excuse
to.
me. If some people, because of depression, if they eat too much or if they are not
Yeah,
eating too much,
so that is a
is also,
problem.
is it anger? Is it IMSA?
Yeah, that is a problem of the person who is doing it. Because under the influence of anxiety, under the influence of depression,
Yeah.
you start scolding somebody, then it is your mistake, right? So, like, responsibility lies with us. Okay, whether we understand or not understand, if we are manifesting passions, then we are doing our own hinsa in the first place. Psychic violence. This is the psychic violence. Okay. So this has to be understood. And if you understand it this very nicely, then the other methodology that I said, that you understand him in a calm manner, you motivate him and you do this, I will give you this. You know, some other forms could be practiced, you know. It's not that every time a child is just because a child, you have to beat him, you have to scold him. That is no more working nowadays, you know. On the contrary, they go to extremes, you know, and then net you only have to suffer.
Sir,
So,
can I tell something, sir?
pardon?
Can I tell something?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think this realization comes very late in our life. Our
Yeah.
children are grown and gone. The
Yes.
realization comes now. At
Right.
that moment, spur of moment, we have a lot of other things going on. So we
Right.
are not able to control that time because we all in India live in a joint family where it is
Yes.
very
Mine
difficult.
also same thing.
And
My
the
mom
anger,
will scold, my
yeah,
aunt will
anger
also
of,
scold, and
yeah.
you know, all the family members will scold me.
No, not only that, sir, the anger of one person, then we show it on our children. We are not able to
Yes.
tell our in-laws anything. So we are
Right.
only showing the anger back to our children.
Right.
So I
Right.
think
Right.
that the realization comes very late when our children have gone
So,
and they are
so
married and they're blessed.
I'll add to this. So we have one student, Aditi, in our class. Okay. Not the Aditi Shah, but the Aditi Jain. Okay. She is hardly 25, 26. Now she is not married also. But now she knows these scriptures. She has read the scriptures. So how she will bring up her kids? You can imagine. So because of our ignorance, because of our parents' ignorance, we all suffered. But now, if you have learned this, you can handle the situation in a better way. Right? So it will be a win-win situation for both. You will not.
Sir, just sorry to interrupt here. I mean, I
They will not
I
mend.
don't know how much, but sir, होता तो है, बहुत कोशिश करते हैं.
हाँ.
What Rajshri ji said, 101%. I grew up in a joint family, and now I'm in a nuclear family by choice because I
Right.
know what I
Right.
went through. I don't want things to happen. And but even outside, like कोई और मेरे बच्चे को डांटे से पहले मैं ही 2 थप्पड़ लगा दूं. मतलब
Ah,
that's the thing. Like nobody else should scold my child. I will beat her in front of that other person who's about to scold her because मेरा मारा हुआ चलेगा.
ah,
Someone else should not raise their voice. So I'm just saying, sir, yes, we know about the tattva. I
ah,
think over the years of Parmagam, my
hmm,
guilt has only increased. I mean, yes, we have better understanding
ah.
and we are raising a child in a
So
different
how
manner.
the guilt has increased, that I don't understand. On the contrary, the guilt should not be there, no? If you have.
No, but sir, guilt is increased because then I know that I'm doing hinsa to the other person and I couldn't have control over my passions. It's a
Then
modification in that
first thing
soul.
you have to understand that you are not the doer. You are
but
not
sir,
the
इतना
doer.
सफरगन उस time पे
Things
नहीं
are
आता है.
happening. So this is the understanding that you have to develop, and then you have to
So it's
practice.
because of the circumstances, sir. So it
Huh.
is we are only who are doing it. It's the circumstances which make us do
No
things.
problem. You are doing it. No problem. Even the right believers also manifest in such manner. That is also no problem. Okay. But at least internally, you should know that you are not the doer of these things, because your inherent nature is just to know. So somewhere down the line, you have to come to this understanding that you are a pure soul and your function is just to know. But beyond that, whatever you do is our own fault, and that's why we are suffering. We are not ready to.
That is why she is feeling guilty, sir. Because she knows that is why
so
that's
he
why
has
the
to change his
guiltiness comes, that
understanding. So
because
he has
you
to.
know the awareness is that what I did was wrong, but we can't help it in circumstances.
So that much difference has been done, because she's studying here for 3 years. So that much difference has
No.
that
Yeah,
much
the
difference has
difference has
already
come. So
done.
that's why she's feeling guilty. What I did was wrong.
So
There's
now
no
the
thing
next
to go
step.
back to and
Now
clear it.
now she has mentioned that she is feeling guilty. So I'm giving her the solution, that you will feel guilty only when you become a doer. But if you don't become a doer, how you will feel guilty?
But then, sir, that's a wishful thinking, no? कि एक बार के लिए मारा, and then I'll be like, oh, I was not the second time.
So I'm telling you, consider yourself a god, and also your kid as a god. Okay. Now you manifest anger and tell me. Show me. We
No,
say
I
that
say
I am
that is
God.
something?
for
We
no,
say
that
I
is
am
for
God.
today,
We
sir.
say that he is God, but we don't believe. So here the belief system has to be changed. That
Can
is
I
the
say
solution.
something?
Yeah, Ed.
So yesterday I was in a meeting, and the person we were having a meeting was super aggressive to us. Like, he was swearing, he was using foul language, everything.
Ah.
3 years ago, I think he would have had it from me. Yesterday I was cool like ice, and I said, you know what? I said to the other four that he's also an Atma, just let's leave it. We sat there, none of us four said a word back. We just listened him out. I came back home, and then, this morning I was thinking about it, and I said, I feel so sorry for that fellow. I really, and I know we're comparing kids, but here I'm comparing an adult situation.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
So
So
this improvement has come just because you have done some practice,
yeah,
So that's what I'm telling Priyanka ji, that
Okay, sir.
first get the theory in place, then you to start applying in a practical, right? So there is no point in. So now you are talking of guilt in a very genuine case. Okay. Now I'm talking about a guilt. Now sometimes unwanted thought comes. Okay. Now there are two options to you. You feel guilty and you suffer. The other is you don't own that thought. You are only a knower of those thoughts. You are not a doer of the thoughts. Then you are very good. Then you are relaxed. Then you will say, come, और भी आ जाओ. And it doesn't come. It stops. So these are the solutions that we have to apply, Feeling guilty is a crime. When you are not a
Yeah.
doer and you are considering yourself to be a doer. And when you consider yourself to be a doer, that is the time you feel guilty. The connections you are understanding?
Yeah, yeah.
So you have to practice. You take one day out and practice this whole day. That why I'm feeling guilty when I'm not a doer. I've raised my hand. I have not raised my hand. It has become automatically. Here the thoughts is coming of raising the hand, and here there is a physical activity happening at the body level. It's just a coincidence. I'm not the doer. You have to understand. You have to bifurcate like this. You have to analyze. So little bit of analysis that you have to do. Otherwise, everything will go on just in the mind only. All this knowledge is to be applied in our day-to-day life. You may fail. That is not a problem. Failing is not a problem, but at least in understanding, you should understand that there is no point in feeling guilty when we are not the doer. That is where the approach should start from. And with little bit of practice, the next time when you have such kind of activities, you will not feel guilt also. Because of your understanding and because of your practice. So two things are there. First is the understanding.
Excuse me, but this thought doesn't come easily with our kids' day. It comes easily with the other people who are staying nearby.
So
with
let
everyone.
it come, let it
this
come.
sort of
But after the things has happened, you can analyze things, no? I could have handled it better.
After that analysis,
Just now, see, Darshiji told that 3 years ago, if he would have been in the same conversation, he would have done wrong things to that person. He would have beat him. That how dare you speak in such foul language? But with 3 years, he has calmed down because he knows if I get very aggressive, I'll be the sufferer. Right? So it's a loss to both. Now, if that person is ethical, he should have called Darshitji and told, yesterday I was in some tension, so I spoke roughly with you. I'm sorry for that. If he would have been an ethical person. But he's not an ethical person. He doesn't feel that he has done some guilt. So, okay, he's binding karmas. So this is how you have to handle. There is no point in manifesting passions. That is.
So he must be thinking that I'm not the doer. He must be thinking that. No?
Yes.
He must be thinking. So if he has no guilt, he must be thinking that I am not doing it.
No, but then Charnan Yoga will say that you have to say forgive. Forgive. You have to ask for forgiveness. This is Charnan Yoga. Dravyan Yoga is okay. Whatever you said, that he must be thinking that he is not the doer. That is good. Dravyan Yoga is good. But then there is a correlation with Charnan Yoga. So Charnan Yoga will say you have to ask for forgiveness. If you have knowingly, unknowingly, if you have hurt somebody, then we ask for forgiveness. Every 10 lakshan, we write knowingly or unknowingly. Now he is knowingly hurting somebody, and above that he is not asking for forgiveness also. So how can we say that he is a right believer?
In fact, from what you have said, I think I will go and ask him for forgiveness now and say, if I have hurt you, for you to do this thing,
if you forgive, you are a winner. If you forgive,
because I don't have any hard feelings against him. So I'll just say, look, I'm sorry. If I hurt.
There are two benefits for asking for forgiveness. Even if we have not committed the crime, the other person is at fault. Still, if you ask for forgiveness, you are let going your pride passions. Okay. And the other thing is you are not manifesting anger passion. So you are the winner. If you ask for forgiveness, you are the winner. He is not the winner.
Yeah.
But how many people would be ready to do that? I'll show him. How dare he can speak like this, that, So.
No, that thought never crossed my mind. I never felt like I want to show him.
I'm not talking about you. Generally speaking, people are not able to digest such kind of things. But practically, if you are doing it, you will realize that you could put up your point in a very nice manner. But even if then he doesn't understand that thing, then we leave it. There are many souls whom we are interacting once a time. If you go to a shopkeeper, he gives you inferior goods, and then you go for complaint, he doesn't entertain you. What do? We leave it. Next time we don't go to that place. That's all. Right? So when we are encountering once in a while, then we do leave it. But when it is an everyday, right, then what you do? Then you need to upgrade your efforts to be in calm in those situations. Right? So with practice, you can manage everything. That's how the monk, Chelna Rani and Shrenik. Shrenik put a dead snake on Yashodhar Muni's body. Okay? And when then he told Chelna that monk, I threw a snake. So Chelna said, let's go and see. Our monks doesn't remove the snake. Okay, they are into meditation. They don't do anything, such things. So said, no, he must have removed. Let's go and see. So they both went. And the snake was there and there were so many small ants throughout the body, right? And then Chelna removed that snake. And then when monk, he came out of his meditation, he gave Ashirvad to both. And that's how the Shrenik's mind changed. And he also became a Jain. So this was, we are talking at monk's level. We cannot do at that level. So there will be some reactions here and there, okay, initially. But as you practice more, you can master it. So no, there is no way that you should feel guilt. You have to make your understanding correct.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So you are always welcome to discuss one-to-one all problems.
I'll call you tomorrow.
Yes, we have solution for each and every problem. The Jinwani shows us the solution for each and every problems, you know. And
No, I believe in that, sir. But it's just
yes.
I was thinking, like, while driving back from work, I was thinking, how can I have a nice, peaceful, calm state of mind? Either it's like, worrying about something,
Yes,
or it's
yes,
like
yes.
irritated because, toothpaste ka dhakkan nahi lagaya hai. Like, little things. So you
Yes,
just
yes, yes,
feel
yes.
like, okay, how much?
I also
It's
have.
it's
I
almost
also
like a
have.
nagger.
You
So
don't. I also have some quarrels with my wife once in a while. Okay, but then immediately we realize that since she is not able to realize this, let's leave it. Time is the healer, you know.
yeah,
So
okay,
it happens with everybody sometimes. Everyone is not always a perfect, you know. So,
yeah,
but we learn from our mistakes.
yeah. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So our time is over more than 10 minutes. I've taken extra, but the discussion was going on and this was practical. So I thought, let's end it. Okay. So we'll continue tomorrow from 44 number verse. It's a very interesting verse. And based on that 44 number verse, there will be 8 to 9 more verse about the explaining the same 44 number verse that we will take up tomorrow. 8 types of violence we are going to discuss. And now those examples you see, you will realize, you will have a better understanding of violence tomorrow. Okay? Okay. Nij nidhi